Hi, I'm Sean Stratman. I'm at the Experience Farming Project in Carnation, Washington, a program of Snow Valley Tilth. I'm here to discuss cover crops today. Some of the benefits of cover crops are helps reduce erosion, helps increase soil organic matter, cover crops help recycle nutrients, some cover crops fix nitrogen, some cover crops also help suppress weeds. They remove excess soil moisture. They reduce soil compaction. They help loosen the topsoil, as well as attract pollinators. We're going to break our cover crops down into a few different categories. First, we're going to discuss cool season grains. Examples of cool season grains would include spelt, wheat, barley, and winter rye. Cool season greens help reduce soil erosion, they help increase the soil organic matter, and they also help remove excess soil moisture. The next category are warm season grains. These include buckwheat, sorghum, and millet. These warm season grains help improve biodiversity, weed suppression. They're also useful for weed suppression, and they help also increase the soil organic matter. The next group of cover crops we're going to discuss are legumes. These include such plants as vetch, field peas, soybean, and clover. Legumes help reduce erosion. They help fixate nitrogen into the soil. They improve biodiversity, and they also increase the soil organic matter. Brassicas are also used as a cover crop. Such examples would be radishes, turnip, mustards, and arugula. Brassicas are used for biofumigation, which is used to help reduce soil-borne pathogens. Brassicas also help reduce surface and subsoil compaction, and they also are used for weed suppression. The last group we're going to discuss are grasses. This includes annual and perennial ryegrass, as well as orchard grasses. The advantage of these cover crops is they produce lots of biomass, and they also help reduce erosion. We are now going to discuss a few of the cover crops that are really popular here on our farm. First would be winter rye. Winter rye is planted at 150 pounds per acre if you're broadcast seeding it, 110 pounds per acre if it's drilled in. It's best planted in the fall, and in the Snoqualmie Valley area, I find that I have the best results if I can plant my winter rye before September 15th. Winter rye helps reduce soil erosion. It increases the soil organic matter as well. It definitely helps remove moisture from the soil, and it loosens the topsoil. Example of winter rye seed is here. And you can see winter rye growing with our next plant that we're going to discuss, which is hairy vetch, here in this field. This is the winter rye, and this is the hairy vetch. This crop was planted September 15th, so this got in just the last minute. You can see next to this, we have winter rye growing here, which was planted a week later. You can notice the difference. And then next to that, you have winter rye with hairy vetch that was planted 2 weeks later. So the difference between mid-September and the end of September really helps highlight the importance of timing. As mentioned, we're going to discuss hairy vetch. Hairy vetch we plant with our winter rye and clover as our most favored wintertime cover crop mixture. Hairy vetch is best planted in the early fall. It's broadcast seeded at 35 pounds per acre and drilled at 25 pounds an acre. It produces nitrogen, it helps increase nutrient availability, it provides beneficial insect habitat, and it's very winter hardy. Fortunately, I don't have many vetch seeds currently, but I did find a few measly ones there. Once again, this is hairy vetch growing in the field. Perhaps our most popular warm season grain is buckwheat. Buckwheat is planted at 90 pounds broadcasted per acre, or 70 pounds if drilled. It's best planted in the early summer to summer. It's known for its rapid growth rate, which helps in its weed suppression abilities. It improves biodiversity, both beneficial insects and pollinators, and it helps increase the soil matter as well. Here is an example of buckwheat seeds. And given the fact that it's winter time, we currently are unable to grow buckwheat here. And now, perhaps my most favorite cover crop that we use on the farm, Dutch white or New Zealand white clover. It's planted, as you can see, very sparsely in a sense. That doesn't take a lot of weight to cover a lot of area. It's broadcasted at 12 pounds per acre and 8 pounds if drilled. Dutch white clover helps reduce soil erosion. It removes excess soil moisture. It improves biodiversity. It has grazing potential. It is used as a living mulch. It's a great companion plant. And it is the lowest growing and tolerates the most traffic of all of the clover species. It is best planted in the spring and early fall. Here is what Dutch white clover seed looks like up close. And if you look here, we'll see Dutch white clover growing in the field. Now this was planted in May of 2020. So this clover is over a year and a half old, and it is actually being used as a living mulch. So just want to mention a few ways that you can broadcast seed your cover crop seeds onto your farm. One of the most popular methods we have is our backpack or front pack spreader. You put your seeds in the hopper like this and you walk around and spread them throughout your field. If you have an acre or less, I would say this is doable and a reasonable option. We have a field out there that was 6 acres, and that was just going to be a little excessive for what this can handle. So when you're doing larger portions of fields, such as the front field up there, we had that drilled in with a larger tractor. So this is generally what I use for my mix or for my rye vetch. When it comes to planting clover, before I acquired this handy seeder, which is really nice because you can set the gauge on it for really small seeds and really control how much weight of seed you're dispersing over a larger area. Prior to that though, I had invented this little contraption which works reasonably well, especially when you're under sowing, which means planting seeds underneath your other established plants. Not the most efficient method, but it is effective. Once you've selected the cover crop you want to plant, and it is actually planted in the ground, you need to cover it. There's a number of methods you can use. I like to use the basket weeder that I have on my small tractor. However, if you don't have equipment that can do that, you can use a landscape rake, or I've actually even used chain link fences dragged behind other implements or other tractors or ATVs, things of that nature. So basically you just want to make sure that you incorporate the seed into the soil, cover it. There's a general rule of thumb that the smaller the seed is, the less shallow it needs to be planted. So making sure that you don't plant your clover seeds too deep and your rye seeds too shallow is always important. Once your cover crops have been established and it's time to actually terminate them, there's a variety of ways that you can do that. Depending on what cover crop you have and what your desired outcome is, you can use a variety of methods, some of which include mowing, crimping, tilling, and freeze killing. It's best to identify the maturity of the plant and the timing as to figure out when's the best time to terminate your cover crop for the best desired results. Hope this has been helpful, and thank you for joining us here at the Experience Farming Project in Carnation, Washington.